participants or 30 participants all in all. So this is a flexi learning, and I would expect that all of you, all who are enrolled in flexi learning, are here today. And I would like also to welcome those students coming from different classes, but you have also a separate classes on a face-to-face basis. So first and foremost, before we start, I have some bad news for everyone, and maybe good news for some. And we will be having also some kind of reflections on how we are going to prepare for this good or bad news, depending on how you take it. Okay. So the board examination was transferred by the PRC from March 26 to March 19. So means to say, we have a 1 week advance. Supposedly that will be our schedule for the final recap and coaching. So means to say, the final recap and coaching was transferred from 13 to 17. I hope you see the announcement. Second is that our pre-board exam will be earlier also. That's the reason why last week I have advised the staff to announce that the major ship will start middle of May. So most probably that will fall on May 16. And this is a hybrid program, which means you can both have it online, offline. Online, which means we will be having session from uh, January to Feb online, and we will be having face-to-face for 2 weeks, 1 week or to 2 weeks for the face-to-face program. TLE, English, Science, and SOCSI, and Mathematics and Values Ed are always welcome to attend the class. All right, so what we are only asking is that once you join the class, you must be fully paid in your account to us, because we will be giving free materials uh, before the actual face-to-face online. And you must be fully paid before joining the class. Sana maintindihan po ng lahat na yung aming operational costs are just dependent on the collection that we had from the students. And when we say early class for the major ship, we are paying lecturers, whether it is online and offline. Okay, so another one is that we are the only center that we have a longer review sessions for major ship. And I would like to tell you and emphasize again that we have started earlier than the other review center. So whatever transfer that the PRC did is just having an advantage to all of us because we have started early. Another one is that even we started early, we have still the review center who have a lot of topics to be discussed. So hindi po kami nagtipid. Ibibigay namin sa lahat yung mga significant na mga topics na baka lalabas sa actual board exam, most especially that the board exam is is based on the new curriculum. Okay, so that's the bad news. Good news, depende sa take. The examination is on March 19 to give way down the civil service exam. I do not understand that, because civil service is being managed by different agency. I just thought na there must be a problem of the classroom when civil service and the Lept will be joining as one day in the exam. So magdungan sila. So to give way, and I don't even understand why is it the civil service will not give way than Lept. So anyway, wala tayong choice din kasi hindi tayo nagde-decide for the review, for the actual examination. It's the PRC also to call on that. So therefore, what I'm asking everyone is to be eagerly attending the class. The remaining classes that we have will focusing more on the professional education. So sana lahat. So lahat naman ng mga general ed, I am encouraging everyone to put some notations inside your room and memorize all those general ed. So napakaganda ng result ng ating September 2022 or October 2, 2022. Napakaganda because we have top notch at the same time, and the passing rate, alam nyo ang tataas, no? Yung proof ed is 90 plus, 80 plus. Yung pinakamababa na proof ed na nakita ko is 86. So I am encouraging this group also to do the same. Taas natin yung proof ed dahil malaki yung chances natin na papasa sa board exam pag mataas yung ating professional education and general ed. So ibabawi niya yung majorship pag mahirap. Pero, para naman natin pag mag-prepare tayo sa majorship, that's the reason na go-offer tayo ng 1 month review. And guys, that is very cheap or reasonable compared to paying more than what you have gained in other sectors. So dito naman, we have 1 month review. Uh, Bakit ko ginagawa yan? Kasi I'm just establishing the name of PCCE, and I'm so happy that it has already gaining recognitions online. And I would like to encourage everyone na itong 1 month review ay para maipakita na malaking factor yung majorship in passing the board exam. All right? So today, what we're going to talk about is another ano pa pala, bad news naman ito. Pero take it challenges in a challenging way that the TLE shall include Agri-Ed, yung nag-review for Agri-Education, you will belong definitely to TLE. So that's the reason why ngayon, I would like to encourage those. I would like to meet kasi alam ko may mga Agri-Ed tayo dito. So we are going to ask this Agri-Ed will prepare more for the other topics that they have, most especially in other topics such as ICT, ano pa ba, home economics, or lahat ng tech walk subjects. And another one is that yung science, Filipino, and TLE, joint group tayo sa ISAT University Review Center. So definitely some of the classes will be held in ISAT U, and some of the classes will be held in the office, in the classroom. And we will be putting some schedule by this January. So ang daming mangyayari this January. We're all busy. So I hope if you have some friends who wants to join our majorship na coming from different center or nag-self-review or nag-online review, they can avail it with us. Hybrid. Means to say hybrid, may face-to-face at saka may online, and that costs to 2,500 for the outsider, and for those who are enrolled, that is already included in your review fee, 7,500. All right? So this morning, okay na ba, ma'am? Research, can I start?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. May question ba sa students about what I have announced? May mga tanong ba? Sa 51 attendees natin, may mga tanong ba? Wala? So again, TLE or Agri-Ed will be joining the TLE or the Technical Vocational Subjects, which means isang review lang sila. Yung dati na Agri-Fish or APA, ngayon ay buo na, Agri-Fisheries. Ngayon buo na sa TLE. Okay? So ang challenge dito, madagdagan ka ng mga topics na hindi naman diniscuss sa inyo nung college kayo. Am I right? Sino bang ano dito, Agri-Ed or TLE? Si Ma'am Ellen lang, Ellen. Sino pa? Oy, madami sila. Oo, so medyo 1 month yung preparation natin. So nag-contact na ako sa mga bagong lecturer who will be joining with us. And hopefully, medyo makuha natin yung pacing, and we'll cover a lot of things. Hindi natin makukover lahat yan. That's why do not depend in any review center. Just study and study and study. Okay? Hindi natin kakayanin kunin in 1 month ang all topics ng TLE. Pero we have to, as much as we can, give some time to tackle every aspects of your subjects that will be included in your majorship. All right, so this morning, what we're going to talk about is how you call this, foundation of education. Okay, meron na ba ditong naka-join na sa PUED class? I guess in a JV. Tama, JV? Hindi. Child and adolescent. Is there somebody who had attended already the PUED? Wala pa? Okay, wala pa. So, okay. So this morning, we're going to talk about foundation of education. And I would like to tell everyone that this foundation of education, hindi siya nawawala every time there's a board examination. Why? Kasi ito yung ano, yung uh, ito yung ano, yung examination that will give you point of view where education had just started. Okay, yung foundation of education, first we are going to talk about the education. So when you talk about education, it's a change for the better. The goal of education, therefore, is to change man for the better, mentally, physically, socially, morally, and spiritually. So when you are educated, you're acting differently than those who are not. When you are educated, you never stoop down your level to any level from those uneducated or those students who has ill-mannered behavior. So, but of course, sad to say that there are some people who are educated but ill-mannered. So may problema sa pag-uugali nila. So that's the reason why today we're gonna talk about a lot of things about education. So before, when I am preparing for the board exam, I only prepared more in the foundation of education kasi napaka-kumpleto to na foundation na professional education. And not all other review centers has tackled the FUED. So dito sa amin, nakita namin the significance ng foundation of education. That's the reason why we discuss the FUED for you for better understanding. So that is education. What about foundation? When you talk about foundation, it means the basis, the support, the principles, the origin, the tenets, or whatever substructure to be built upon. So foundation for education means the basis from which education originates, and develops. And this education influences the content and processes of education. So what we are today has something to do where this come from. What is the origin of this? What is the substructure of this? So later on, you will understand, ito pala yung pinanggalingan ng ganito. Ito pala bakit tayo nagkakaganito. So lahat yan ay matutunan natin sa foundation of education. So tanong ko lang, am I fast? Okay lang? Intro lang naman yan. Mabilis ba? Anybody?
Okay lang ma'am.
Okay lang,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, sige. So again, when you talk about foundation of education, dito natin maintindihan ang mga origin, mga pinanggalingan, yung konteksto, saan ba ito binase, yung bagong learning na to, bakit may mga university tayo, bakit may mga monasteryo tayo, bakit may mga trade and commerce or business administration courses, bakit may military training, saan ba ito nanggaling? So the foundation of education will explain all of this. That includes already the philosophy of education. Bakit may realism? Bakit may Protestantism? Bakit saan ba nanggaling yung tinatawag na realism or actualities of life? Yung tinatawag na stoicism, hedonism. So lahat pag-uusapan natin yan. So this is a 2-day session and definitely we're gonna tackle all of this. Sana matapos natin in 2 days. Alright? So, let's talk about the foundation of education classified as in a lot of things. Number 1, bakit sinasabi ko kanina na yung FOED ay kumpletong sahog ng professional education? Kasi sa foundation of education, may psychological. And when you talk about psychological foundation, that includes already your child and adolescent and the psychology of learning. So matutunan mo to ibang-ibang point of view ng psychology. Second, sociological foundation. So matutunan natin yung kultura, folkways, cultural relativism, ethnocentrism, xenocentrism, ethical relativism, and a lot more. Matutunan din natin ito, ano tinatawag na nuclear family, consanguine, conjugal, extended, patrilineal, patrilocal. So we're going to talk about that under sociological. That includes already Filipino values and culture. And in philosophical foundation, we talk about different isms. Ito yung difficulty ng a lot of people, pag sinabing philosophy of education, they referred it to ism. Am I right? And for some, philosophy of education is challenging. Do you agree? Mag-interactive naman tayo. Hirap kaya, hirap na
Yes, ma'am.
nagsasalita na walang kausap. Alam niyo guys, you talk, you discuss, you share. Uminom kayo dyan ng Sting for this day lang para alive-alive naman tayo dyan. Huwag lang kape-kape kasi baka ano ka sa kape. Ano ba? Mag, palpitation. Alright? So, inom tayo ng mga nakakapukaw ng ating mga damdamin. Okay? So, philosophical foundation is one of the most challenging kasi merong mga estudyante na hindi maintindihan yung isam-isam. Another one, there also include anthropological foundation, yung study of people's culture, mores, taboos, ano pa pinagtutunan to, social norm, and a lot more. So dito natin din matutunan yung tinatawag na historical foundation. Saan ba nanggaling ang mga educational system ngayon? Ano bang basihan nito? So matutunan natin yan through history. And of course, kung kakayanin, we're gonna talk about legal foundation. So if you're gonna look at the content of the foundation of education, napakalaki, napakalawak. That's why nga sabi ko, this must not be 2 days, this must be 3 days or more. Kung gusto natin i-detalye lahat-lahat, this must be longer than what expected. Tapos, mag-a-apply tayo. What is the prototype of the actual board exam questions na nanggagaling sa POED? So, mamaya may papakita ako sa inyo. Alright? So, first, we're going to start with psychological foundation. So, psychological foundation, sa makabagong curriculum, ang tawag dito child and adolescent. Alright? So, had you already discussed child and adolescent?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I hope you have remembered those fixation kasi hindi naman lahat na pagdi-discuss sa school ng child and adolescent kagaya ng ating approach. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Magkaiba ba yung approach ko sa explanation? Or pareho lang? Sino na naka-attend sa child and adolescent?
Same lang daw, ma'am, sabi ni Sir Joseph.
Same lang naman. Si Sir Joseph, yeah. Oo, kasi palagi naman nag-a-attend si Sir Joseph. But in some school, it was only defined as a psychological foundation, as child and adolescent. Dinidiscuss lang talaga yung teorya ni Freud, Erikson, ni Piaget, without discussing how it is being presented as a board exam questions. Do you agree? Hindi siya nilapat. Ano yung magiging itsura niya pag nasa actual board exam na siya? Alright? So, mamaya, pagtuunan natin ang pansin yan. So, teaching and learning are both psychological processes. Naintindihan natin yan, ano? Teachers who have adequate understanding of psychology are better equipped to develop teaching methods, procedure, and techniques that will result in effective learning. So, masasabi ka, hindi ako effective. Bakit? You are not psychologically equipped. Why? You don't know how to manage students' behavior inside the classroom. So remember guys, napakalaking factor yung pagkakaintindi ng teacher sa psychology in order for her to manage or to steer the behavior of the child inside the classroom. So ang magaling na teacher, they stop the misbehavior without disrupting the lesson flow. Ibig sabihin, tuloy-tuloy yung pagklase niya, hindi siya naiistorbo kahit may nag-misbehave. Bakit? Ginamitan niya ng tinatawag na classroom management. So, sway tayo ng konti. Ano ba itong classroom management? So, isang napakalaking role ng teacher inside the class is classroom management. The reason na dapat pag teacher ka sa klase, you must manage every aspect of the student class. So ma'am, ano bang essential ng classroom management? I guess you can take down note kasi it was not included in my slides. I would like to explain to you guys na may dalawang way of managing surface behavior. Pag sinasabi nating surface behavior, yung mga kaugalian ng mga estudyante sa loob. O, magtatagalog ako kasi may ano tayo dyan. May mga attendees pa tayo coming outside of Visayas. Ma'am Jade?
Kaya, ma'am.
Meron, meron.
Yes po.
Oh, sige, magtagalog na lang ako kasi para maintindihan. So, there are two ways of managing surface behavior. Sabi ko, anong ba ang surface behavior? Ang tinatawag na surface behavior, ito yung mga kaugalian ng mga estudyante sa loob ng class, which if not managed will definitely affect the learning process. Okay? So, sabi ko kanina, there are two types of managing surface behavior. Take note. Take note. May notebook ba kayo dyan sa ballpen? One, verbal. Another one, non-verbal. Sabi ko kanina, effective yung non-verbal. Kasi, pag non-verbal, it will never disrupt your class. Tuloy-tuloy yung klase mo. Do you agree?
Yes po.
Okay. Anong dalawa na yon? Verbal at saka?
Non-verbal.
Okay. Let's talk first about the verbal. One, name calling. Okay? Did you get it? Name calling. Tinawag yung pangalan mo. Halimbawa, Jade. Sa klase, no? Tinawag mo si Jade. Jade, okay? That is included in the verbal. So, you signal Jade of her misbehavior. That's one example. So, another name calling, JV or Ellen. So, that is another way of name calling. Okay? So, hindi naman yan, ano, no, lahat ng mga teacher, pag nainis, tinatawag yung pangalan ng estudyante. The second one is what we call interest boosting. What is interest boosting? Ang interest boosting naman, ito'y ginagamit ng teacher pag ang estudyante ay natutulog-tulugan na, get bored na, ano bang ginagawa ni teacher? So, managing surface behavior number 2, interest boosting, that is talking about the interest of the child so that she will participate and re-energize inside the class. So, halimbawa, yung isa, paborito niya si Liza Soberano. So, you're gonna talk about Liza Soberano. She has something to say. So, therefore, magiging participative siya. So, anong tawag doon ng technique na yun? Anybody?
Interest boosting, ma'am.
Pero, if you use this kind of strategy, dapat kilala mo yung estudyante mo. Tama? Dapat alam mo kung ano yung mga interest niya. Kasi when you are inside the classroom, makikita mo yung mga bata, nakikita mo yun anong interest nitong isa, nung isa, nung isa. If you don't know them, you cannot use this one. Otherwise, some teachers will always use a generalized joke. So sa atin, sa mga malalaki, sa mga adult, ang generalized joke, they opted into green jokes. Do you agree?
Yes.
Pero kung bata, can you do green jokes?
No.
Instead of instead of using green jokes, you have to utilize their interest. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So I hope you capture the message. So alam ang mga teacher na magagaling, pag first day of class pa lang, pina-fill up yung estudyante ng slum book. Alam yung slum book? Uso yan sa atin dati ah. Tama? Ano ba yung slum book? Otherwise known as what? Slum book. Yung sinusulatan, who is your crush? What's your favorite color? Your height, your weight. Di ba ganon? Nakapagsagot na ba kayo ng ganyan? O hindi na uso sa kapanahunan nyo? Kasi digital na kayo eh. Sa amin dati, may slum book kami. To know our learners, we should know their interest. That includes their favorite actress, what hobbies do they have. So if you're gonna talk about ito, football player pala to. Okay? So mag-interest boosting ka, gamitin mo yung football playing. Alam nyo ba, tapos gamitin yung pangalan. Sabi, alam nyo ba si Ellen, futsal player yan? O, di ba ganon? Pwede ba yung interest boosting, Ellen, as a start? May tao pa ba dyan? Naririnig niyo pa ba ako? O nawawala ako? Hello? 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 Hello?
Opo,
Nandito ka
ma'am.
pa, ma'am.
Okay,
Pwede
ma'am.
po, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Can you hear
Narinig
me?
pa, ma'am. Narinig pa.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay na, okay na. Naputol ba ako?
Ay, hindi po.
Okay.
Na ano po yung microphone ko lang kasi.
All right. So another one, number 3, verbal technique, direct appeal. Ano ba itong tinatawag na direct appeal? Nakikita nyo ba to sa mga exams nyo? Guys, na-encounter nyo ba tong name calling, interest boosting, and ano ba tawag dito? Direct appeal? Na ano nyo ba? Na-encounter nyo sa mga exam? Hello? Okay pa ba ako?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright.
Loud
So,
and clear.
na-encounter nyo pa ba yon yung mga ganon? Okay. Another one, interest boosting. And then, of course, the last one is name calling. All right. So, we also talk about the what we call non-verbal. And for me, non-verbal is quite effective. Why? This will not disrupt your lesson flow. Remember, guys, pag non-verbal, hindi siya hindi siya hindi siya magdi-distract ng klase. Okay, give me an example of non-verbal in managing surface behavior. Anyone? Hello?
Proximity control, ma'am.
Okay, that's one, Micah, proximity control. Proximity control, managing the behavior without disrupting the lesson flow. Example of that, maingay yung dalawang magkatabi sa likod. You keep on discussing your lesson. You go to their side and just stand. Do not talk to them, just stand. And when you stand beside them, they will stop talking. Will they stop talking? Micah? Yes, they will stop talking. Why? Because they're your space. Space means proximity. Your space will manage their misbehavior. Another example of non-verbal example, finger or signal interference. Signal interference also includes finger pointing. Pwede mo finger point mo siya, or snapping your finger, or you just doing an eye contact, or clearing of throat. Ganon. So that one is all included in the signal interferences. So that it's also include facial expression and gesture. So medyo may kaguluhan dito sa gestures versus facial expression. Am I right? May mga gulong nangyayari dyan. Bakit? Hello? I'm checking from time to time to check if I'm still audible. Can you still hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
sige. So anong
Yes,
example
ma'am.
yon?
Loud
Yung
and clear.
signal. Okay. So Micah, we have what we call signal interference.
Yes, ma'am.
We have what we call signal interference. Effective ba to? Anybody? Halimbawa, Sir Earl, clearing of throat. Ano, effective ba yan? So, magiging effective lang siya when
Yes po.
when the behavior is not yet creating a ripple effect. So, what do you mean by that? So, hindi pa nag-effect sa iba, so effective yung signal interference. But if the behavior is already on set, you have to use already the what we call proximity control or other means. So, ma'am, anong difference naman sa signal interference? Yung winking of the eyes, or any gestures or facial expression. Paano ba natin masegregate yung facial expression sa gesture? If you are bowing, that is a gesture. If you are smiling, what is that? Facial expression or gesture?
Facial expression.
Okay, so anything that is happening within your face, that one is called facial expression.
Facial expression.
Oh yeah, that's true. When you talk about naman anything that your language says, body language, that one is called gesture. All right? Okay,
Gesture.
so that's true. Inihatid ka. Facial expression, gesture.
Gesture, ma'am.
That's true. Inakbayan ka, gesture. Pinat ka sa shoulder, gesture. So, magulo kasi yun kasi sabi niya, winking of the eyes. That includes where? Gesture or facial expression?
Facial expression.
Facial expression. So, lahat ng mga bagay na ginawa ng gamit yung face mo, that could be part of your facial expression. So, anything naman that the entire body moves or part of your body moves, that one is a gesture. Claro?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's proceed to the next one. So, psychological foundation is concerned, all right, mabilis yata
Yes,
ako.
ma'am.
Okay, ito. Psychological foundation is concerned with the application of psychological principle and techniques in the development of educational programs and strategies and to effect better teaching and learning process. So guys, when you are preparing for the professional education, huwag mong gawing review. Anong gagawin mo para mas madali? Sinasabi ko to lagi sa mga estudyante ko. Gagawin mo siyang application sa buhay mo. Parang nag-attend ka ng seminar, ng workshop, and you're ready to apply it to your life. Kasi, mas mabilis sumagot ng actual board exam question kung naintindihan mo at naisabuhay mo ang konsepto at prinsipyo. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Oo.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
sabi ng estudyante ko, mga dati kong estudyante nag-proof ed, alam niyo guys, I have a lot of commendation and appreciation on how I teach the proof ed because sinasabi ko sa kanila, huwag niyong gawing lesson, gawin yung learning na pwede mong gamitin sa buhay. And they have said na, ma'am, dahil yun yung ginawa natin, in-apply namin sa buhay namin, isinapuso namin yung foundation, yung professional education, parang nung kumuha kami ng board exam, parang napaka-professional talaga namin that we can answer every single question because we know that it has been within us. So, hindi mo na iisipin, ano nga yun? Ay, pinag-usapan namin yun. Kasi pag ganun yung approach mo sa learning, hindi ka matututo doon, magme-memorize ka lang. Tama ba ako? Magme-memorize ka lang. And when you're preparing for the board exam, forget memorization. You are in the level of understanding. Kasi pag nasa level of understanding ka na, kahit anong pattern of questions pa, baliktarin na baliktarin yung tanong, masasagot mo siya. Alright? So now here, psychological foundation is focused on the three. This one, the learner, the learning process, and the learning situation. So what is the learner? The learner, in some books, yung mga dating libro, mga traditional books, ang tawag nila sa learner, pupil or student. Yung tawag nila sa learning process, subject, teacher and the subject. And the learning situation is the school. So that's the reason why yung dati na board exam, that's why sabi ko, ma'am, bakit, may nagtanong kasi, ma'am, bakit ang babata ng ng mga lecturer mo? Na-observe nyo ba? Bakit ang babata ng lecturer mo? Hindi nyo ba nakita masyadong young version ng lecturers natin? Parang hindi ba ako naririnig? Ewan ko ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Bakit? Alam nyo guys, ito kasi we want you to learn from the recent materials of the actual board exam that they have taken. Kasi, yung kumuha nung 1919 or 1980, hindi na makarelate sa makabagong way of patterning the board exam questions. Do you also agree on that?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
that's the reason
Yes
why
po.
yung mga recent na na-expose sa board exam, alam nila paano ituro yun. Alam nila anong lumalabas. That's the reason why. So ngayon, nagpapaiba ako paunti-unti ng strategy. So yung lahat ng, eventually by next year, lahat ng proctor natin should be licensed. Kasi they could immediately discuss with you their experiences, what they have what they have met during the actual board exam. Kasi napaka-importante yun. Alright? Another one, dapat na-encounter na alam nila nakarelate sila. And the new learning today is totally different when what we have in 1919 or 1970 passers. Alright? So, sabi nila, sa dating tanong na ganito din, what are the three component of educative process? Sa actual board exam, ang tanong ng 1990s or 1980s, it is the pupil, the teacher, and the school. But ngayon, sa makabagong panahon, facilitating learning, yung focus is the learner. The learning process that includes the processes and the methods of the teacher and the learning situation. Pag sinabi mong school, structure lang yun. Pag sinabi mong learning situation, that involves anything or the experiences around school, the community, the situation such as the stores, the canteens, the co-teachers and the co-students. They are part rather of your learning situation. All right? So the learner is the center of educative process. The teacher's success will greatly depend upon his insight into various factors to growth and development and his knowledge on the developmental characteristics of the learner. So depende paano niya naintindihan yung tinatawag na growth and development. Kasi pag hindi niya naintindihan yung tinatawag na growth and development, sayang talaga. Bakit? Ang unang-unang na dapat nakakaalam ng growth and development is the teacher. Growth and development tackles about psychology of learning. Paano ba na-develop yung mga behavior ng bata? So, yung risk factor of the early childhood development, paano ba naka-apekto sa pag-uugali natin ngayon? Just like us now, whatever we are today is something to do on how we were brought up. We were brought up by our parents. Do you agree on that? Paano tayo pinalaki?
Yes, ma'am.
Early childhood development is very critical than the later development, right? And that is what we are going to learn today. Okay? Paano ba tayo pinalaki ng ating mga parents? Okay. So another one here. Man passes through several stages of growth and development. You're gonna look at that. Prenatal, hindi pa ipinanganak. Is that part of the growth and development? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, oo. Sabi nila, upon the union of the egg cell and the sperm cell, life begins. And the right of the child to live here in the Philippines also begin. All right? Prenatal period, ang daming nangyayari. One of the most critical period of the prenatal period is during the first trimester of pregnancy, from fertilization up to 3 months. In fact, bawal ka uminom ng anumang gamot. Bakit? Kasi napaka-sensitive ng baby, developing of the two major organs of the body, that includes your heart and your brain. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Inaabuso pa to during this time the concept of cephalocaudal and proximodistal happens during prenatal period. So, in fact, kinakausap natin yung baby natin kahit nasa womb pa lang, kinakausap natin. Bakit? Naririnig ba nila? Feeling nyo? Naririnig ba nila?
Yes, ma'am.
Oo. Sino ba nakapag-try dyan kausapin yung tummy? Yung mga lalaki dyan, may jowa-jowa. Kausapin nyo naman baby nyo, pagkatapos nyo naman ipasok dyan, hindi nyo naman kinakausap. Kausapin niyo kasi nakikinig sila. Alright? Yung mga tatay, alam niyo pag pregnant ka, napakasarap tingnan nung tatay na na kinakausap yung baby sa tummy ng asawa niya. Okay? Ma'am, okay lang ba yun? Oo naman. Paano pag walang tatay? Pakausap mo sa ibang tatay. Sandali, bakit ba nagka-problema ako sa akin? Alright. So what else? What else? Ano pa? Prenatal. Ano pa nangyayari? Do you want to share something?
Starts the heart and the brain, ma'am.
Okay. Hello, mic test. Okay na.
The heart and the brain starts to develop.
Yeah, the heart and the brain, as I have said, ma'am, may pagkakaiba ba pag babae at saka lalaki yung development of the brain? Yes, meron. Meron, That's why magkaiba mag-isip yung babae. Okay, let's started from the union of the egg cell and the sperm cell. Sa Philippine na konteksto, madaming babaeng ipinanganak compare sa lalaki. True or false? Anybody? Tama ba? Maraming ipinanganak na na babae kaysa sa lalaki. Tama?
Tama po.
Tama. Sa bawat 10 babae, 5 ang lalaki. Sa bawat 5 lalaki, 3 ang bakla, 2 yung parang tunay, pero may isang confused. Ma'am, bakit madaming babae? Kasi alam niyo guys, ito nangyayari yun. Yung natural setup ng vagina ng babae, acidic. Am I right, girls? Wala lang, girls. Puro yata tumboy ito. Hello?
Yes, miss.
Naniniwala ba kayo na yung vagina ng babae ay acidic? Pag acidic siya, yung sperm na carrier ng male will die immediately. That's why wala silang capacity to swim. So that's the reason dahil maraming babae. So sa babae naman, paano mo mag-isip yung babae? Kasi sabi nila, sa development ng neurons ng babae, mabilisan. That's why boys, you have to understand, maraming babae, napaka-advanced mag-isip. Tama ba? Maybe in the development of the
Tama po.
neurons. Oo, nabilis mong isip, advanced mong isip, overthinker. Ganun yung babae. Ang lalaki naman, loading. Tama ha? Boys, will you agree on that? Ang lalaki loading, ang babae, advanced mag-isip. Hindi mo pa nagawa, tapos na sa utak ng babae. Ganun sila mag-isip. That's the reason why hindi talaga sila tugma. Mag-aaway at mag-aaway lagi sila kasi ganun nga ang nangyayari. Alright? And yung sabi ng friend ko, uy, try mo to kasi sabi nila, pag ang bata nakikinig sa music while they are in the womb of the mommies, the development of the brain is fast, yung mabilis yung connection ng neurons. That's the reason why nagpapa-music din ako nung college ako, nang buntis ako, nagpapa-music ako ng mga music na Mozart, mga Beethoven, mga classical music. Kasi nakakaano daw yun ng neurons. Mali nga lang yung music kasi sabi nila yung ganong pace. Tananan tan 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 tananan tan 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 tan. Kasi mabilis daw yung ganun yung neurons ng baby mo. But never to say, nang lumabas yung anak ko, matalino din naman sa mathematics. Pero siguro yung mga magagaling talaga, mas magandang music yung narinig nila during the development of the brain. So ang tanong, kailan ba nagde-develop yung brain? Prenatal period, that is the first trimester of pregnancy. Nag-start na doon. So the first major organ that is being developed first is the heart. Siyempre, beating of the heart first, tapos after several weeks, it started to develop the brain. Alright? So after that, infancy, lumabas na yung baby. So in China, since abortion is legal, the right of the child to live started during infancy or upon delivery. So lumalabas din yan sa board exam question na, when is the start of the child, the right of the child started in the Philippines? So ang sagot, during conception or upon fertilization. When is the right of the child begin in China? Of course, upon delivery or during infancy. So patuloy na yan, infancy, babyhood, childhood, puberty, adolescence, adulthood, middle age, and old age. And I would like to tell you guys, lahat to sequential. Sequentials in the sense na walang pwedeng mag-promote immediately to puberty or adolescence. And every or in all stages of this life, there are several critical periods. So sa puberty, adolescence, very critical din. Sa middle age, critical din. Kasi nangyayari dito ang tinatawag na midlife crisis. Tama? Sa puberty and adolescence, ano ba nang make it critical? Anybody from the group? Paano ba nagiging critical? Sa puberty and adolescence, bakit siya critical?
Nagiging emotional ang mga bata, ma'am.
That's true, no? Emotional imbalance. If you can see, yung mga bata, they want their freedom. Puberty and adolescence, naglalayas dyan, sumasagot-sagot sa parents, maingay. Ang daming nangyayari during puberty and adolescence. And pag hindi naagapan yan, it could cause suicidal tendencies, it could cause mental health issues on the part of the child. So napakaraming issues. What about in the midlife or the middle age? Yung tinatawag na midlife crisis. Who wants to give their point of view there? JV? Or si Earl? Earl, during midlife crisis, may nangyayari. Wala naman sa atin dito nagmi-midlife crisis, ano?
During
Oh.
30s, ma'am.
Siguro mga 40s.
Wala pa po.
Wala pa. Hindi nyo pa naranasan. But haven't you observed, normally yung they look for another partner, yung mga infidelity issues, nangyayari 40 years old and above. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Why? Bakit nangyayari yun? Yung hindi lang iniwan na lang bigla yung pamilya. Bakit nangyayari yun? So pag ikaw ay psychologically equipped, hindi ka judgmental. Maybe you can say, why? Because we believe that every behavior has reason. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
O dahil may rason, halimbawa yung isang lalaki na ama, biglang iniwan yung asawa. Tapos after maybe some years or months, bumalik naman. Bakit kaya?
Midlife crisis or identity crisis. Either of the two.
Okay. Sino ba yung sinasabi ng identity crisis? Na-intriga ako dun. Sino yon? Sino to? Nagka-identity crisis pa sa in the middle age. That's true. Kasi pag tinatawang midlife crisis, you are in the middle of turmoil. You don't know what to do. You want to do something that you have not done yet. Or you want to do something that is supposedly you dream to do it, but it never happened. For some reason, you blame your wife, your children, your partner, or whoever. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am. May fixation pa po.
Oo, may mga issues siya na hindi pa na tinatawag nating unresolved issues. Tama? Is that normal?
Correct.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
So that's the reason why mahirap kasi maghusga. Okay? Ako kasi minsan I am always questioning ba't ganon. Tapos yung pag may fixation ka rin, you go into opting into, sige mag-separate na lang tayo, hiwalay na lang tayo. But you don't know guys na hindi niya pala kailangan yon. Ang kailangan niya yung pag-intindi mo. Tama?
True.
So, pag-develop yung trust mo, you're always hopeful na babalik din yan or sige lang, magbabago din yan. Yun yung mga tao na buo yung trust. Pero yung may mga trust issue, ay mahirapan ka doon. Oh, 'di ba? So those are things. So this prenatal period will end not only in old age but too, what is next after old age?
Death.
Of course, definitely death. And there are a lot of people who are afraid of death. Are we afraid of death because we are normal people? The answer is yes. But death is inevitable. It means to say na wala tayong magawa. It will happen. Magpili ka lang, you're gonna stay quite shorter or quite longer. So, alin ba doon? So, ako, personally, maybe I just want to stay a little bit longer, but not longer, because nakakatakot din pag hindi ka na useful. Am I right? Hindi ka na useful, tapos aalagaan ka, nagiging liability ka pa sa iyong mga anak. Tama ba ako?
Yes
Yes,
po.
ma'am.
Yes.
So dapat I will stay na able pa ako at I can understand, I can live alone. Okay, pag hindi na, so medyo ano na. So sa ibang country, may tinatawag silang euthanasia. Ano bang euthanasia?
Mercy killing.
Si
Yeah, that's
killing.
true. Mercy killing. Which means, bakit sila nag-euthanasia? Wala ba silang puso? But, iba kasi tayo, kasi Christian country tayo. We believe in Christ. We take care of our olds until the moment that they just refuse to live or they have to meet death. Pero sa ibang country, pag nasa ospital at medyo matagal na at parang machine na lang yung nagdadala, they apply the what we call mercy killing or generally called as euthanasia. So ginagawa yon and that is legal. In the Philippines, is it legal?
No.
No. That's the reason why wala tayong euthanasia dito. So that's why habang may buhay, ganun yung ating yung peg. Habang may buhay, alagaan natin dahil namamatay na yung mga buhay sa kababayan ng bill sa ospital habang may buhay. Alright? But because of individual differences, people do not grow at the same rate. So means to say, hindi lahat ng tao sabay-sabay mag-isip. That's the reason why, guys, bakit ang poor ng memory ko? There will be one day that you will also shine. So, hindi tayo mag-shine all together. There will be moment for all of us. Do you agree? Hindi ka nag-cum laude, nasaktan ka, dahil sabi mo, mas matalino ako sa nag-cum laude o nag-magna cum laude. Pero, hindi mo rin inisip na hindi naman yung college days or ang high school days or ang elementary days ang basihan ng success ng tao. Naniniwala ba kayo doon?
Yes, miss.
Yes, ma'am.
Oo. So wag kang masad. Kasi ang dami-daming ko rin kakilala. Kami section 1 kami when we were in high school. But the most successful people are there in section 6, section 7, section 5. Why do you think? Ito yung mga tao masigasig mag-aral, nagsikap sa buhay. Tama? So, hindi
Yes, ma'am.
sukatan. Hindi sukatan yung whatever achievements or honors you have. The success of life shall always depend on how you manage your life, how you face the challenges of your life, and you do your hard work. So that is actually ang daming elemento sa success ng buhay. Hindi lang yung certificate mo or medal mo from elementary to high school or college. That's why I'm challenging you guys. You can be better to anyone, even to your valedictorian during high school, when you do believe that you can do it, and when you do something to achieve what you want or what's your goal in life. All right. So we talk about growth and development. I guess we have to talk growth and development in a separate lecture, and growth and development for that, and the factors affecting growth and development, which is heredity and environment. So ito yung lalabas sa board exam. Ma'am, in every aspect of co-ed, may ibibigay ako na basic principle. At ito yung sandali lang ha. What do you want? Wallet ko. Hindi. Excuse me. 100 pesos. Bye. All right. So basic principles of development. Number 1, development follows an orderly sequence that is predictable. So when you talk about development, alam natin, it will goes from the prenatal period to old age. The second one, The rate of development is unique to its individual, which means, ang actual board exam question na to, pwede yung sabihin, the rate of development is unique to its individual. Is this statement true or false? So the answer is true. So wag tayong mag-compare even to our students at the same grade level because merong nag-shine and merong na-outshine, but nevertheless, merong moment also to shine those who are not shining yet. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Development involves changes. What do you mean by that? Development involves changes. Pag may pagbabago for the better, that is development. Pero pag nagbago yan to become worse, that is only change. So dapat may binago siya towards a betterment. Another one, early development is more critical than later developments. This is very true. Okay? Yung pinaka-early development, that is very, very critical. This is the formative years, the foundation of what you will become today. So maririnig ko sa lola ko dati, pag nagbiga-biga kami, nagkiat-kiat kami, hambas ang lola namin. Balasulod gid ang nanay nyo kung ano kamo. Eh wala kamo gintudluan, insakto, hindi kayo tinuruan ng tama. Okay? So yung nanay nyo dapat yung nagtuturo ng tama so that you will become a better individual. Number 5, development is a product of maturation and learning. True. Once mature ka na, may learning ka na, naiiba pati point of view mo. Halata nyo ba yan? Pag marami kang pinagdaanan, mas magaling ka magdesisyon, mas magaling ka mag-isip, mas maganda yung perspektibo mo. Okay? That is the meaning of number 5. Number 6, there are individual differences in development. Yes, that's true. That's why we are incomparable. Haven't you observed? Once you start comparing yourself, your insecurities begin. Do you agree? Ay,
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, hindi, ayaw kong mag-compare. Never ako nag-compare to anyone. Bakit? Nai-insecure ako pag mag-start ako comparing myself. I don't want to compare also. Sabi nila, ma'am, anong ganito, nagko-compare ako to the situation. Sabi ko, ay wala sila ganito, so I have to offer that one. But believe me, in my 20 years in a review center, kung nag-aim lang talaga ako na yayaman ako, matagal na ako mayaman. Kaya lang hindi ako mayaman. What I'm saying is that it's full service. Parang ano nga parang advocacy nga lang. So parang self-sufficient yung company na to. So the company has already existed. Yung personal na pinagmamayarian ko na review center has already existed. 12 years na, wala pang ibang review center na yan. Okay, andun na ako. But you know guys, what's the most important is that service, yung totoong service pa. Ma'am, hindi namin ma-perfect ang service, but we're trying hard to give the best for the student. Ano bang kailangan namin ibigay para, walang question, they can prepare better than anyone. So yun yung ginagawa namin. Kasi when you start comparing, individually different, but do not also think na wala nang gagaling pa sa'yo. Kasi hindi totoo yan. There will always be somebody better than you. Tama ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Para maisip mo to humble yourself, you are not the best person in this world. We are not omniscient, okay? There will be somebody who will born that is better than you. That's why stay humble. Number 7, there are social expectations for every developmental period, such as phylogenetic skills. Guys, yung tinatawag nating phylogenetic skills, these are the skills na kailangan mong ma-perform, no? Na nakukuha mo, na mamana mo. So, based on the social expectations, and of course, these skills can be developed in every developmental stages. Halimbawa, you speak fluently. So, means to say, pwedeng mamana yan, and that is a social expectations from you na kailangan mo magawa yan. Say, for example, the bubbling, the first word, the cawing, the crying is very expected when you are delivered in this world. At the age of 2 years old, you're expected to speak at least 24 words vocabulary. That is one of the phylogenetic skills. na ini-expect sa iyo na you have to do in a certain period. At the age of 12 to 18 years old, dapat may menstruation ka, nagme-menstruation. Yung lalaki naman, nocturnal emission. So ano ba ma'am ang nocturnal emission? Nocturnal emission is the first appearance of the seminal fluid of male. Yung mga babae naman, may menarche. Ano bang menarche? The first appearance of menstruation. Ang first appearance of seminal fluid is, ano ba tawag ko? Nocturnal emission, or the first, or sometimes we call that wet dreams. All right? So, yun. Okay, developmental task. That is by Erickson. So, this time, we're going to talk about the first concept, which is the foundation, 1, 2, 3. We're done with the learner. We'll focus more on the next one, which is the learning process. Can you see the slides? Hello, can you see the slides, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so
Yes,
let's,
ma'am.
let us do a 2-minute break for your CR. Bring your water, your snacks. You eat while I'm talking. It's okay. Pwede ba CR break? 2 minutes. Okay, let's go back. Okay, let's talk about the learning process. Are you there? Tapos na bang 2 minutes natin?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's
Yes, ma'am.
discuss. Kanina sabi ko, what are the 3 components of educative process? We have the learning process, the learner rather. What else?
Learning situation.
The learning situation and the learner, the learning process, and the last one is the learning situation, right? Okay, so now let's talk about the learning process. So in the learning process, we're going to talk about the learning. What is learning? Learning talks about any change in a person's of his behavior as a result of experience. And that is according to Borton. So Borton said that every time you have experiences, do you learn something? Anybody? The answer definitely is yes. But ma'am,
Yes.
what about if the experiences is bad? Do you also learn?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, true. No matter how bad the situation is, isipin natin, may learning doon. So there was one student na nag-message sa akin noong October 2022 na failed siya. Sabi niya, Ma'am, I'm so sorry. Say ko, why are you saying sorry, dear? Niya kasi, I'm not doing my part. Alam ko naman na nagbigay ka pa ng 1 week na free review just to make us prepared. Pero hindi po ako naka-attend. So sometimes guys, sa failure and success in the preparation for any examination, just like this Lept, nagtatanong ka lagi. Okay, makikita mo to ha, later on you will understand. May taong blaming. Ano bang blaming? Sa Tagalog, ano ba tawag doon? Blaming. Anybody? Parang ano ka, ang blaming syndrome. Ano ba tawag doon?
Naninilis po.
Opo, yun no? Naghahanap na ka ng taong sisisihin mo pag failure ka. Is that normal?
Yes.
Yes. Normal yan. So ako, pag sinisisi yung review center na hindi siya pumasa, okay lang, normal yan. Kasi ano lang naman, maliit na porsyento. Ngayon, ang ating passing percentage noong October ranges from 89 to 95. So okay lang, sabi ko. May maliit na portion na na-failed. Okay lang. Bakit? Hindi naman lahat pariho yung effort na ibinigay. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Meron naman
Yes,
kasing
ma'am.
daming niyang ganap sa buhay. May trabaho, may pamilya, may extra, nagtututor pa. Tapos, yung full-time niya nandun lahat, yung part-time yung review. Oh, hindi ako naninisi ha. I'm just telling you the truth that sometimes the truth is we cannot serve two masters at the same time unless you really strive more. So, limbawa, nagtatrabaho ka, then you do your effort more and more. Mas lalo nagtatrabaho ka, mas lalo mag-o-overtime ka, magsasakripisyo ka. Kasi, yun yung sinasabi, do your best, and God will do the rest. Iba, biniblame pa si God. Yung tanong, bakit? Ginawa mo ba yung best mo? Yun yung sinasabi ko. Alright? So, kahit, alam nyo guys, ang pinakamaraming learning, pag na-failed ka, hindi doon sa success ka, medyo lumalaki yung ulo natin pag successful. Pero pag failure ka, ang dami ding learning. Tama ba ako?
Yes, ma'am.
So pag na-failure ka, bangon. Sabi mo, do better this time. Pag na-failure, oh my God, saan ba ako nagkamali? Analyze your mistakes. Analyze your wrongdoing. Siguro, nagkulang ako sa preparation. Tama? Huwag kang blame ng blame. Pick up yourself, stand up, and try again. Failure again, then try again. Alam mo, example ko lang si Josh ha. Ilang ulit na siya nag-review. Ulit-ulit din ako nagsasabi sa kanya, Josh, napi-failed ka. So siya pa yung pinaka-leader ng group nila tapos napi-failed pa rin siya. Yung rating niya, ma'am, ka-frustrated kasi 74.9. Sabi ko, don't aim for 75, aim for more. Okay? So, ika-4 niya na itong kuha. Ma'am, saan ako nagkulang sa preparation? Alam mo saan siya nagkulang? Hindi siya nagkulang. Sumobra siya. Why? There are some instances that you have to focus on certain things that you need. Huwag kang gala ng gala sa mga bagay na hindi mo kailangan. Yung lahat ng i-review center ininulan mo, tapos you pick some pieces out of there. Tapos mag-top ka, pinag-aagawan ka, tapos pag failed ka, ikinakahiya ka. No. Focus on 1 or 2 or whatever review center, grab materials around your corner, and then make a lot of effort for yourself. Hindi yan assurance. Yung review center, hindi assurance yan. I'll tell you, PCCE will make you pass. Sabi ko, it's you who will make you pass yourself. We're just an opportunity for you to grab. Do you agree on that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yung effort mo talaga yung pumapasa sa'yo. Yung mga materials ng review center, puro pareho lang yan. Yung mga learnings na nakukuha mo doon, pare-pareho lang dyan. Depende sa lecturer, how they gonna explain or rationalize things. Kasi sabi ko, may edge kami doon. Pero the point of saying na kailangan mo mag-review sa ganitong review center para papasa ka, that's totally wrong. Because yung pumasa ka man, kahit hindi ka nag-review because of your effort. Tama ba ako?
Yes, ma'am.
So, learning here refers to the mental process of acquisition, retention, utilization of knowledge, skills, habits, and attitudes for the purpose of behavior modification. You want to learn to change your behavior. Hindi lang, pag kasi nag-learn ka for purposely of learning, hindi naman tama yon. You are learning because you want to improve your behavior. Natututo ka. So, sabi nila, the manifestation of learning is when you see that the person changes his life. Pag nagbago na siya, yun na yung tinatawag, ay, may learning pala. Kasi pag wala, hindi mo naalala yun. Right? Another one. There are 3 types of learning. We have the cognitive, sensory motor, or psychomotor learning, development, habits, and skills. And then, of course, the last one is affective learning, or the internalization of attitude and appreciation. We're gonna talk about that one, the 3 types of learning. Pero sandali lang ha. Okay, 3 types of learning. Please do a table on that, cognitive, psychomotor, and affective, because I'll be discussing the different concept under cognitive, sensory, and affective. Okay? Okay, so let's proceed. Did you make a table now? Ang hirap kasi pag dito, kasi pag nasa class kita, pwede kong i-discuss isa-isa. Alright, so do you have a table now? The first column is the cognitive learning. The second column is the psychomotor or sensory motor. And the last one is affective. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let's talk about the first column, affective and cognitive. Sandali lang, pagkita ko sa kanina. Wala akong whiteboard pen. Walang whiteboard pen. All right. So sa cognitive, we're using the Bloom's taxonomy of objective. The lowest is knowledge. Are you still there? Recording or note-taking?
Yes, ma'am.
Cognitive, the lowest is knowledge, followed by comprehension, followed by application, acquisition, synthesis, and the last and the highest is evaluation. That is the old Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, again, what is the lowest?
Knowledge.
Knowledge, followed by
Comprehension.
comprehension, then guys ha, suki ng board exam to. Knowledge, comprehension, application,
Application. Analyzing.
Analysis.
Synthesizing. Evaluating.
and the last one is evaluating or evaluation. Tama? Okay, so ang tanong, actual board exam questions. The highest stage of old Bloom's taxonomy is?
Evaluation.
The lowest?
Knowledge.
Knowledge. So, what about ganito yung tanong? To identify certain information belongs to what?
Identify.
Yes, to identify.
Knowledge, ma'am.
Very good. What about to summarize?
Synthesis, ma'am.
Correct, synthesis. What about to rate or to judge?
Evaluation.
Evaluation. Very good. To perform certain formula.
Application.
Application. That's true. To understand the cycle of symbiotic relationship.
Knowledge, ma'am.
Knowledge. To understand.
Comprehension.
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 That's true, comprehension. To explain why people are different in different status, class, or social status. To explain.
Analysis.
Analysis. Did you see that? Hindi lang cognitive yung alam mo, dapat alam mo rin how it is being managed, and that is based on the old Bloom. The new Bloom start by remembering, analyzing, applying, applying muna bago analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Walang synthesizing. Alright? So again, this new Bloom's taxonomy was revised by Laurie Anderson. Hindi to gawa ni Bloom sa kay Laurie Anderson to. So be conscious of the actual board exam question pag yung revised Bloom yung tinatanong or old Bloom yung tinatanong. But when you talk about Bloom taxonomy, the highest is evaluation, the lowest is knowledge. When you talk about the revised Bloom of Laurie Anderson, the lowest is remembering, the highest is
Creating.
creating. Klaro? Clear ng cognitive? Any
Klaro po.
question? All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's proceed to the second types of learning, the sensory motor or the psychomotor learning. This one is the development of habits and skills. So skills must be developed, di ba? So sensory motor or psychomotor. We are going to use Simpson's concept. Sino ba si Simpsons? Simpson who created the concept of psychomotors or developing psychomotor skills. So it started from number 1. Ano una?
Perception.
The first one is perception. Ikaw. Okay. Wow, I have snacks. Thank you. So much. Okay, the first one is perception. Followed by? Followed by what?
Ma'am.
Okay. Followed by set. Okay. After the set?
Guided response.
Guided response. After guided response, please take note as a table. Mechanism, and then complex, overt responses, adaptation, and origination. Did you hear that one? People? Can you hear that? Wala na tao. Naririnig ba ako?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello? Okay. So Simpson's taxonomy of psychomotor started with perception, set, guided response. We have mechanism, complex overt responses. And then after that,
Adaptation.
and the highest is? Anong highest?
Origination.
The highest is origination. Klaro, nakuha, na record the note, na take note?
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Let's talk first about actual board exam questions. And developing psychomotor learning, the students should be able to first observe the
Perception.
activity. That one is called perception. The student should imitate the leader.
Set.
Set is imitation. Tanana, perception is observation. Set is imitation. What about when the student is being guided by the more knowledgeable others?
Guided response.
That one is called guided response. What if the student is being given some formations and steps to perform the task?
Mechanism.
Mechanism. What about when the student is being is instructed to integrate facial expression. Alam niyo yung magturo ka sa ano, pag mapi-mapi, 'di ba? Smile. Oy, ngumiti ka, 'di ba? 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 yung line, oy, ngumiti. 'Di ba ganun sila. So the reason for that is complex overt responses. You have to integrate facial expression. In fact, nga, cha, ganun siya. Nakakatawa yun. Dapat, ang dumadala sa mga any activity that is skills in nature is your facial expression as well. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Sumayaw ka ng tinikling, nakasimangot ka para kang ano, para, pag ako yung judge, hindi ka mananalo. Do you agree? Kasi pag sumayaw ka ng mga sayaw-sayaw ng folk dance, ang sarap tingnan if you are happy and enjoying what you are doing. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
The next one after that complex overt responses is adaptation. You could be able to dance, but when you can dance with ease and confidence, that is already origination. So ang tanong sa actual board exam, what is the lowest?
Perception.
And what is the highest?
Origination.
Origination. Origination. When the
Origination.
child integrated facial expressions,
Complex over response.
Response.
complex overt responses, very good. What about when the child is imitating what they have said?
Set.
Said. What about if they are observing?
Perception.
Perception. What about if they are assisted by somebody who is knowledgeable than them?
Guided response.
Guided response.
What was given a system or set of sequence for them to follow?
Mechanism.
Mechanism.
When they perform the dance with ease and confidence,
Origination.
origination. Did you learn something from there that is proposed by Simpson's taxonomy of psychomotor? All right? Are you there?
Yes.
Okay. The last one is effective learning. Are you still there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Effective learning, bakit tayo nag-prepare ng TOS or Table of Specification? Purposely for to ensure the completion and properly distributed yung mga objectives natin. So, dapat merong cognitive, may psychomotor, at saka may affective. Am I right? So, sa affective, ma'am, ano doon? So, affective learning is internalization of attitude and appreciation. Hindi lang knowledge yung tinuturo natin sa bata, which is cognitive. Hindi lang skills, which is psychomotor. Also, their values and attitudes, the intangible qualities of the child inside the classroom. So, this is the affective domain, which is proposed by Krathwohl's domains of affective. Okay, sino si Krathwohl? Krathwohl's taxonomy. This is a model of Krathwohl's. Describe individual's process of internalized learning object in emotional and affective level. So, meron din steps na yan. Meron din tinatawag na model na ginagamit si Krathwohl. The first one is, anong una?
Receiving.
Receiving, followed by
Responding.
responding. Then, after responding, valuing, after valuing, organizing, after organizing, characterizing or characterization. Claro. What is the lowest there?
Receiving.
Highest?
Characterization.
Characterization. But these are teaching us the Krathwohl's taxonomy of effective learning teaches us that no person changes overnight. Do you agree? That modifying the behavior of the person is doing quite some time and will develop over time, and that will always start with what? What is the lowest?
Receiving.
Receiving.
Halimbawa, gusto mo magbago. Sinong gusto mo magbago? Halimbawa, maghahanap ako ng example dyan. Si Lauren, gusto niyang magbago. Okay? So, when you want to change the person, hindi yan nagbabago overnight. May proseso yon. So, what do you mean when you say there is a process? Si Alvin John, halimbawa, si Rata, mamasama yung ugali. So, pwede siyang magbago. Paano siya magbabago? So, magbabago siya through a process. Number one, pagsabihan mo siya. That's why, guys, pag pinagsabihan ka ng parents, that is the first and the lowest form of transforming individual. Do you agree? That is, sabi ko kay Jan, magbago ka na. Sabi ni Jan, hindi, nakatingin lang si Jan, nakikinig siya. Ano is that? What level lang yun? Anong level lang?
Receiving. Receiving, ma'am.
Receiving. Pag sumagot si Jan, try ko. Responding. Ang valuing happens when Jan is not already in the, maybe, hindi na sa paligid yung jowa niya, nanay niya, o yung taong nagsasabi sa kanya na magbabago siya. So, John had already valued the concept of changing or modifying the behavior. So, halimbawa, John is smoking. Sabi ng nanay niya or ng teacher niya, John, smoking is not good for your health. Nakikinig lang si John. Pero, pag sinagot siya ni John, kaya nga that's why I'm trying to quit. Sabi niya, I'm trying to quit. What level belongs that answer of John? Receiving. Yung organizing, when John could avoid people who are smoking. Nagkikendi-kendi na siya, nagluluya-luya na siya. Luya ba? Nakain yung luya para to avoid smoking. Or may iba na siyang ganap para i-avoid. Sabi ma'am, nag-vape. Ganon din yun. Ang vaping is also smoking. Do you agree? Smoking din yun. And
Yes,
then, of
po.
course, when John had already set up his condition to change his behavior, that is already organized. And when John started to refuse smoking, even he was invited by his friends, that is already characterization. Do you agree? So in the actual board exam, the question is not just like that. Say, for example, to listen to the advice of the teacher, where that belongs?
Receiving.
Receiving. What about to refuse and resist the use of drugs?
Responding.
Responding ba yun?
Characterization.
Okay,
Characterization.
Characterization. To avoid friends who are using drugs.
Organizing.
Organizing. What about to think about the advices of the parents and the teachers?
Value.
That one is already
Valuing.
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 To answer back to the teachers and promise not to smoke again.
Responding.
Responding. Claro.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there learning,
Yes.
the types of learning? There are hundreds of possible questions on that. What I'm saying is that you do understand types of learning, or sometimes this is called domains of learning. And what are those three? We have the cognitive,
Sensory motor,
and
and affective learning.
affective learning. Who is the proponent of the cognitive taxonomy? Bloom. What about in psychomotor? Simpson. And what about in character or affective domain? Cratwell. So in the affective domain, we have the lowest is receiving, and the highest is?
Characterization.
What is the lowest in psychomotor?
Perception.
The highest is? Origination. What about in the new Bloom? The lowest is?
Knowledge.
New blue.
Knowledge.
New blue.
Remembering, ma'am.
Remembering. And the highest is?
Creating,
The old bloom, the lowest is?
knowledge,
And the highest is?
Knowledge.
evaluation.
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 Perfect? Perfect, guys? Kaya yon? Kasi lumalabas din yun sa board exam. Kaya?
Kakayanin, ma'am.
Okay. You remember that one? You keep on practicing. You always remember the infinitive. Halimbawa, infinitive to listen, that is receiving. Tama? To identify, to know, that is cognitive under? To identify, to know. Sa cognitive, di na siya nabilog.
Cogn-
To know, to identify. Kaya naging repeat ko na. Knowledge. Knowledge.
Knowledge.
Remember sa knowledge lang, yan na equitable is remembering. Tama? Basta ganing mga facts, that is knowledge. So sa actual board exam, pwede naman ipamangkot nga, facts. Facts and information are belong to what level of cognitive? Knowledge. Take
Knowledge.
note, guys. Ang general education subject sa aton nga board exam are all facts. Do you agree? And that is
Yes.
under knowledge. Do you agree? So both silingon, ang knowledge is the lowest level of learning, but you can never have evaluative attitude. You can never have analysis without knowledge. Do you agree? Matalino ka.
Yes.
Ang talino-talino mo, pero wala kang alam. Sayang yung talino mo. Tama? Yung katalinuhan ng tao, halimbawa ako, matalino ako, magaling ako magdesisyon, magaling ako mag-present ng ideas, pero wala akong knowledge. Ang tanong, is knowledge important?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is knowledge a prerequisite to become an evaluative person?
Yes.
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 So lahat na yan, yung knowledge is the baseline. Sabi nga sa mga show ng EBS-CBS, ligtas ang may alam. Knowledge is power. Tama?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so
Yes.
according to Pillsbury, there are 3 types of learning at 2 types lang pala, direct and indirect. So Filipino people wants to learn directly. Tama? Paghambalan mo yung Pinoy nga hindi paghikapa kay tain na anong sa Pinoy?
Tapakon.
Hikapon. So ano ba yung hikapon in Tagalog? Hawakan. Gusto na talaga ng Pinoy hawakan. Kahit yung Pinoy simpleng experiment lang ha, huwag mong hawakan yung itlog kasi mainit. Ano ginawa ng Pinoy? Hinawakan. Ay, oo nga, mainit. Baliw ba to? Ang Pinoy, ayaw niyang mag-learn because ng indirect, but they want to learn direct experiences. Kasi direct experiences is the best learning ever. The second one is indirect experience. This is learning through others, through the experiences of others. Ang tawag doon, indirect experiences. Okay? So according to Burnham, there are several types of learning. 3, you have the congenital. These are learning that was brought about through since you were delivered here on earth. The second one is temporary, and the third one is permanent. So temporary learning, these are learning that is temporarily adapted. Maybe because ano lang siya, very initial lang siya sa mind natin. Bakit siya nagiging temporary? Yung mga learning na temporary because you never thought it was important. Do you agree? Yung mga taong hindi importante sa iyo, nakakalimutan mo ba? Yes or no?
Yes.
So, ano naman yung permanent learning? Yung permanent learning, yung alam mo na magagamit mo siya in the future. Chismis, congenital, temporary, permanent. Wala nang sumagot. Temporary. Sana
Temporary.
temporary. Sa iba naging permanente yun eh. Tama? Sana temporary. Okay? So basically, pag chismis siya, it must be temporary. That's why, sabi ng mga magagaling na mga artista, kabalan, yung mga artista ho, ibig sabihin hindi na talaga ang kapal ng mukha. Bakit? Hindi na talaga na natinag ng mga chismis. When you are an actor and actresses, hindi ka talaga matitinag sa chismis. Bakit? Sanay ka na eh. Do you agree? Sanayan lang yan. Kung kapalmuks ka, pag hindi ka kapalmuks pala, huwag kang mag-artista. Kaya nga hindi ako tumanggap ng contract. Kasi, ang hirap magiging artista. Chinichismis ka kahit hindi totoo. Yes or no?
Yes.
And you want to become a private person. Tama? Yung lang, yung discreet lang. Tama ba? So, lahat ng mga artista, they are scared of what we call that chismis. Why are they scared? Because alam nyo, hindi rin masaya ang magiging actors and actresses. Becoming a public figure is having a responsibility to the people. Tama? Hindi.
Tama.
Responsibility to what? Responsibility of doing what is right. Because once you become a public-owned individual, politiko, artista, public figure, you are subject rather for public scrutiny and discrimination. So, tanggapin mo yan, pagpasok mo dyan, yun yung magiging role mo sa buhay na to. You are being scrutinized by the public. And don't get hurt of all those. Bakit? It's just temporary. Meron bang chismis na nagstay? Temporary lang naman. Lilipas din yan. Permanent. Sa learning, temporary is initial and this is short-term memory. Permanent is there in the long-term memory. All right? So types of learning according to Roch. We have first sensory learning. These are learning that is captured by your 5 senses. Another one is motor learning. This is equivalent to the skills learning that you have acquired. So hindi ako marunong dati mag-bake. But when I learn how to bake, I love baking. So, mga bagay-bagay na pwede pala nating matutunan. Do you agree? Ano bang mga skills na gusto mo? When you are preparing for licensing, nagpe-prepare ka ng board exam. So kukuha ka ng March 19 na board exam. After ng March 19 na board exam, anong gagawin mo? Maghihintay ng result. Of course not. Huwag kang maghintay ng result. Mababaliw ka. Mas mahirap 'yon kaysa sa nag-prepare ng board exam. So ang gagawin mo, maghanap ka ng mga trainings na tutulong sa iyo para mapadali yung ranking mo. Do you agree? Punta ka ng TESDA, punta ka ng mga grab the training and prepare for your English proficiency test. Okay, the more trainings you have, the better. The higher English proficiency test you have, the higher the chances of hiring. And of course, don't forget to also increase your passing percentage. So wag ka lang mag-aim ng 75. Dapat above 75. 94 na yung top. Dati 93 lang, 92. Ngayon 94 na. Ewan ko ba ba't ganyan? Siguro, they were called, yung PRC kasi were called the attention na bakit ang baba ng passing percentage ng teachers. Kasi mababa dahil it reflects the way that our teachers use, that our teacher teach our student. Mababa din. There are a lot of information that the student only captured when they are in the review center. Do you agree? Papadugangan wise. So there are some students na mas mabilis silang matuto when they are already in the review center. Hindi nga nila yun alam sa university nila. The third one is the verbal learning. Verbal learning includes your way of pronouncing. Alam mo, may different American accents do we have. May mga British accent. Am I right? At saka may Filipino accent. Tama ba ako? May audience pa ba ako? Example ng mga nagko-call center dyan, American or British accent. Sinong gusto mag-sample dyan? Para may katawa katawanan naman tayo or may interaction tayo. Wala? Wala bang nagtatrabaho sa call center dyan? Oh. Paano na pag American accent? Dapat daw walang silent T. Pag magkasunod ang N at T, silent T yun. Halimbawa, internet. Magkasunod ang N kay T, internet. Ang tawag doon. International. Di ba ganun mag-pronounce? Internet. International. Ano pa? Ano pa mga N at T? Oh, what about British accent? Yung kaibigan ko na British accent, tawag sa akin Ruby, di ba? Parang ano na. So, may today. Ganon. Often. So, sa American English, often. Sa British accent, often. Alright? Another one. Yung verbal language naman, we can definitely encounter a lot of languages around this world. So, sa Pilipinas pa lang, we have 176 dialects. And ilan lang ba ang alam mo? Ako, I know how to speak Cebuano a little. Thank you. I know a little of Chabacano. A lot of Karaya. Di ba? Karaya, mga iba't ibang variation. So kayo din, you have to develop those things. You must learn also some of the Ibatan, Igorot, yung mga waray-waray. Okay? Ideational learning, we can also learn ideas from your very inferior and old ideas to a very new and digital ideas nowadays. Another one is attitudinal learning. Can you change our attitude? The answer is yes. So attitudinal learning is one way of changing our personality into a better one. So here, there are two types of theories of learning. Mabilis ba ako, guys? Okay lang. May audience pa ba ako? Okay lang? Can you capture still? Okay, so there are two main school of thoughts. There are two types of learning theories that we have. First is the association theories of learning. Are you taking down notes, guys? The other one is cognitive.
Yes, ma'am.
Sana lahat may notes ha. Kasi mas madali mo maintindihan pag nag-ano ka. Kaya nga, may nagsasuggest sa amin na yung if you can, ako ay hindi ako nag-handout sa, nagbibigay lang kami ng handouts if the students wants to ask that. Pero if you can record what we have talked about, the better. So next program, siguro yung bibigay namin ay notebook. Bakit kami magbibigay ng notebook? Kasi to encourage noting. Mas masaya kasi pag may note ka, maintindihan mo yung gawa mo at saka makikinig ka. Tama ba?
Yes.
Alright. Taklakas naman ng yes na yun, no? Okay, so there are two main school of thoughts. The first one, let's talk about the first, which is association learning theories. Association learning theories emphasizes the establishment and the strengthening of the relationship between the stimulus and the response. And most of the time, in the actual board exam, this is represented by SR. What is SR? And what is S therefore? S is stimulus and R is?
Response.
And this is under association theories of learning. So sa association theories of learning, sometimes this is called behavioral theories of learning or / SR learning theories. Okay? So ano bang napapaloob dito? So under association learning theories, we're going to discuss 4. The first one is the Thorndike or Edward Lee Thorndike connectionism theory. States that association is established between SR or stimulus and response. It signifies a tendency or predisposition to respond in a particular manner to a given stimulus. What is this all about? These are talking about the 3 laws of Thorndike. What are these 3 laws?
Love effect.
Law of effect,
readiness,
law of
and exercise.
exercise, and law of readiness. Tatlo yan, no? Law of readiness, law of effect, and law of exercise. Isa-isahin natin. Ano bang tinatawag na law of readiness by Thorndike? So sa connectionism theory na concept ni Thorndike, well, there are 3 laws. The first law is law of readiness. So, ano ba itong law of readiness? Okay, magtagalog ako ha para maintindihan natin lahat. Law of readiness states that kahit anong turo mo sa bata, pag ang bata ay hindi ready mag-accept ng information, the result is annoying or satisfying?
Annoying.
The result is annoying. Okay? Halimbawa, sa actual board exam, scenario na to, ano? The teacher started the lecture, even the students are still noisy. What law is being violated?
Readiness.
Law of readiness. Tama? Di pa ready yung bata, nag-start na si teacher. Kasi minsan yung teacher natin, they don't know how to manage the surface behavior. Ang ginagawa nila agad-agad ng mga student, ng teachers natin. Okay guys, let's start the lesson today. Whether it's nainis kasi siya kasi maingay. So yung style niya, magdiretso na siya ng lesson without considering those maiingay. Tama?
Yes.
So ang tanong, which is which? Ano ba dapat? That's the reason why sa lesson planning natin, mayroon tayong motivation.
Motivation.
Is motivation part of the lesson?
Yes, ma'am.
It's part of the methods of teaching. Do you agree? It's not the lesson in itself, but it's part of the methods of teaching. Tama? Kasi dapat may motivation muna bago ang proper lesson. Sakto? Tama ba?
Yes,
Bakit?
ma'am.
Yes.
To set the students for the lesson, ito yung magiging readiness mo. Is the child ready? Okay, pag nag-motivate ka na, kaya nga sa dati, kamusta ka? May ganun pa, may kamustahan before mag-start ang lesson. Halina magsaya, ipalakpak at ipadyak ang paa. Padyak sa kanan, padyak sa kaliwa. Umikot ka, manap ng iba. Have you experienced that one?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, may pakanta-kanta pa ako. No? Ano pa? Pag hindi ready, teacher, pasok ka ng klase, maingay yung estudyante mo, tumayo ka lang sa gitna, guys. No talking. Stand in front of the students and wait for them to be silent. Mangyayara ba? Magiging silent ba sila?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Sabi ng sip-sip sa harap, classmate, ara na si ma'am, andyan na si ma'am, tahimik na. Tapos magre-ripple effect yung behavior. Classmate, andyan na si ma'am. Di ba?
Opo, ma'am.
And the teacher will just wait in front and just wait for the student that they're already silent and don't make some mad comments. Pag lahat tapos na, sabihin mo na lang, okay class, are you ready for the lesson? Gano'n na lang. Huwag ka na, mga yawa kayo ha, mga walang iya kayo, iingay nyo. Diba? We have to avoid high level of communication. So what is the high level of communication? There are two types of communication process inside the classroom. The first one is high level. The other one is low level. Pag sinasabing high level, you stop the misbehavior without disrupt, low level pala yan. High level is that, sumisigaw. May teacher ba na sumisigaw? Tahimik. Yan. Hoy, JV, walang iyakan, ingay mo ha. Papatulan kita dyan eh. Diba? Ano yung JV? High or low?
Hi, ma'am.
High level. So we have to avoid high level. Yung mga nagsisigaw na teacher, reactive, galit, mad, always. Kasi hindi dala yun sa sweldo natin. Hindi tayo sinulduhan para magkaroon ng ganung mga wrinkles na malalaki. Remember the guys that if you're frowning, your cells die. Thousands of cells will die there on your face. That's why yung mga palaging galit, mabilis tumanda. Okay? So, smile lang tayo. Another one, low level. You stop the misbehavior without disrupting the lesson flow. Silent ka lang, pero you manage well. Alright? So that is the law of readiness. Importante ang readiness, guys, so that we have to ensure that the child's learning is good. The second one is the law of effect. Simple lang yung explanation sa law of effect ni Thorndike. Make the student feel happy, pleasurable, make the class pleasurable, and successful. Why? Pag nangyari yon, is the student the next day will come back. Babalik pang estudyante?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Pag happy ang estudyante, pero pag yaw-yaw ang estudyante, ano ba tawag doon? In Tagalog, minura mo yung estudyante. Babalik ba yun next day? Hindi. Pwede siyang bumalik, papatayin ka niya. So that one is called law of effect. So, mag-effort tayo, teacher, that every time we are inside the classroom, we must be liked by the student. Mag-effort tayo. Career natin to. Hindi to joke. Hindi lang to nga pa-feel mo lang. Well, guys, don't joke. Don't create some jokes or don't say something against me because you know I'm not in a good mood. I will kill you. Ganon. Mali yun. Kasi hindi naman ka pumunta doon para mag-adjust yung estudyante sa inyo. You are there to adjust your own behavior because you are more learned and knowledgeable than your student. Do you agree? Kaya nga nag-psychology of learning tayo kasi para alam mo na hindi role ng estudyante na i-adjust kasi hindi pa nila alam. Tuturuan mo pa ang estudyante how to manage their own behavior. Alright? The third one is the law of, anong hindi pa? Law of readiness, law of effect, and exercise.
Yes.
At tanong ko, be honest ha, nainis ba kayo dahil madaming practice test?
No.
Oh, baka ikaw lang, girl.
No.
Alam mo,
No, ma'am.
very good.
No.
That's very good. That's very good. Alam nyo guys, dati kasi, may estudyante kami na nag-complain. Ano sila? Marami sila. Bakit kasi, mali naman kasi yun kasi yung items na pinapakuha sila is 200 items. 200 items in the morning. Tapos i-discuss in the afternoon. Another 200 items the next day. I-discuss in the afternoon. So there are some cases na yung mga discussan, sabi nila, ma'am, whole day na lang ako mag-discuss. So, ibig sabihin, the student will take how many items in one day? Kunyo, 400 items. Kasi yung lecturer, ma'am, kasi gusto ko diretso-diretso na. So, bigay na lang lahat ng test, di-discuss ko bukas. Merong mga discussion na gano'n. So, what happened? Alam mo, kung ako talaga yung pasusundin, gusto ko, ideally, test sa umaga, discuss in the afternoon para hindi mapagod yung estudyante. So, kaya lang, ito yung nangyayari. The reality speaks otherwise. May mga discussant na gusto nila bubukin ng discussion the whole Sunday. Maganda naman kasi uupo ka na the next Sunday, wala ka nang gagawin test. Okay. Sabi ng estudyante, napagod kami. Ano akala nyo sa amin? Machine? Ganun talaga yung pagkakasabi niya, and I was the manager during the time. Alam mo, ma'am, pagod na pagod kami, nasisiyahan kami sa discussion, pero binigyan nyo kami ng test ng 300 items or 200 items or more. Nagpapagod kami, masakit daw sa lieg. Sabi ko, guys, sorry ha. But you know, maybe right after the board exam, tell me if it helps you. And you know, hindi ako nagkamali. Right after the board exam, they chatted and he said, ma'am, thank you so much. Malaking tulong talaga yung practice test na pinagawa niyo. Bakit? Kasi nung board exam, parang nagpa-practice test lang kami. Why? Bakit kasi yung practice test hindi dinadala sa bahay? Why? Bakit ginagawa sa review center? Hindi nyo ba alam na nag-allocate tayo ng time just to do the practice test? Kasi pag nasa bahay yan, installment yan. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Pag sa bahay yan, kung hindi installment, hindi gagawin yan. That's the reason why punta kayo ng center, gawin nyo na yan. So some people may don't understand the process, But believe me, that is part of the program that we're doing. Oh, medyo nga, ngayong 2023, si Ma'am Ev, sabi ni Ma'am Ev, sabi, Ma'am, pwede na i-implement na lang natin sa next nga program. Kasi next program, we are more stricter. We are going to implement the 9 o'clock. Balik tayo ng 8:30 at ang call time ng estudyante. So, or 8 o'clock. Dapat nandun ng estudyante to do the trivia. By exactly 9 o'clock, mag-lecture na tayo. By 9:30, those who are late will be close the door so that they're encouraged to go early. And of course, we have to observe the proper time of giving the test. So pag sinabi na 2 hours and a half lang, pag 150 item, 2 hours and a half lang, 2 hours and a half lang. Pag 100 items, 2 hours lang. So you have to do all that. You have to limit your time. Why? Because that is part of our time management so that in the actual board exam, kayang-kaya mo. Okay? So, mas mabait si Ma'am Bell compare pa sa akin. Kasi pag ganun yan talaga streaker, you want to have a very good passing percentage, you want to have a board top notchers, so we have to do that. Kasi ito yung makakatulong sa kanila that everybody should submit themselves for whatever things that will happen for their board result. Okay? So what are the three again? We have the law of readiness, law of exercise, and law of effect. That is under Thorndike connectionism theory. The second theory is Pavlov classical conditioning or respondent conditioning theory. Association between a conditioned stimulus and a response is strengthened by repeated presentation with the unconditional stimulus. Are you familiar with Pavlov? What is the animal that was used during his experiment?
Dog.
That is dog, okay? But what happened? Ito kasi, si Pavlov, nakikita niya that every time there is a food, the dog salivates. So sabi ni Pavlov, gusto ko mag-salivate ang dog at the sound of the bell. So Pavlov associated the bell with the food. Anong tawag doon? This is the clue. Repeated presentation with the unconditional stimulus. Repeated presentation with the unconditional stimulus or the US. Ma'am, anong unconditional stimulus? Food. So the US there, or the unconditional stimulus is the food. Bakit unconditional stimulus siya? Kahit walang kondisyon, lumalawa yung aso. Alright? So yung bell naman is the conditioned stimulus, or sometimes we call that neutral stimulus. So, repeated presentation with the unconditional stimulus, which is the food. Okay? Ano bang conditioned stimulus na to? Is the bell. Bell food, bell food, bell food. Repeated, bell food, bell food, bell food, bell food. So therefore, it created in the mind of the dog that every time there is a bell, there is
Food.
there is food, right? So therefore, the dog learned to salivate at the sound of the bell. Gets nyo? Gets nyo? Now, ang tanong ko, pwede ma-apply to sa tao? Or pang-aso lamang? Lang tao. Can we apply Pavlov classical conditioning inside the classroom?
Yes, ma'am.
The answer is yes. How? Kasi hindi na naman yung dog ang tanong sa board exam, dog lang. Application of the lesson. Okay? Ano? During when? Is routine classical conditioning?
Yes.
Yes. Ma'am, paano ba magiging routine yung magiging conditioning or classical conditioning yung routine? Repeated presentation with the student. Sanayin mo siyang ano tawag doon? Cleaners. Di ba may cleaners tayo? Remember ko, ang cleaners ko dati, Tuesday. Kasi lahat na AD, Monday. CD, Tuesday. CD defensor ako eh. So, na-remember ko, Tuesday. And medyo kilig lang. Yung asawa ko, yung cleaners niya is Monday. Tapos, nagpapatransfer sa Tuesday. Kasi binubuli niya ako. Hindi, wow. Ayun. So, nakilig ako doon. So, we have to, yung transfer ka. And that is conditioning. The ringing of bell, the prayer are all part of classical conditioning. Would you believe, guys, ang sa condition mo na araw-araw yung prayer nyo pare-pareho, na-memorize mo ba?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Totoo yan. So what about, ma'am, yung mga jowa-jowa? May classical condition. Oo naman. Yung araw-araw may pa-good morning, may pa-hugs, may pa-kiss-kiss, tapos may pa-flowers, may pa-balloons. Nakakondisyon yun. In fact, hindi pa nga kayo mag-jowa, kinukondisyon ka na. O, nang na-fall ka na, ay nawala, ghosting. Do you agree? Classical conditioning yan. Kaya huwag magpauto. Huwag mapakondisyon. Tama? Sino bang na-classical conditioning dyan? Yung na-fall ka na, tsaka ka iniwan. That is a very basic of classical conditioning. Clear? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
The next one is the next is Skinner operant or Skinner instrumental or operant conditioning theory. In this theory, the stimulus response is patterned by immediately following the response. Take note with reinforcing stimulus. Okay, anong reinforcing stimulus? Maybe in the form of reward or punishment. So explain ko again. Ano bang Skinner operant conditioning theory? Ang ginamit ni B.F. Skinner dito or Burroughs Frederick Skinner ay isang mice. Alam mo yung mice? Mouse. Tama? Mouse. Nilagay niya yung mouse sa loob ng cage. Ang cage may dalawang button, the positive button and the negative button. So ang rule ni Skinner, dapat maturuan yung rat, yung mouse ng correct response. Okay? So ganito din sa estudyante, maturuan yung bata ng insakto na pag-uugali or correct response. So dapat i-push ng rat or ng mouse ang positive button that will give the rat a reward or of food. Tapos, ang negative button, makukuryente yung daga. So, let's see, yung daga will serve as our learner. Unang push ng daga, pinush niya ang negative. Nakuryente siya. Siya. Tapos, pinush na naman niya yung positive. Lumabas yung food. Alright. Dapat matutunan ng bata, ng rat or ng mouse, na ano lang ang i-push niya?
Positive.
Yung positive button lang. So, that one is the Skinner operant conditioning. So, anong difference ng operant conditioning versus classical conditioning? Remember natin, sa classical conditioning, wala siyang ibinigay na reward, only repeated presentation or repeated actions. Do you agree? While on the operant conditioning theory, may reward, wala.
May
Yung
reward.
ara.
Meron. Okay. So, huwag kayong ma-confuse. Classical conditioning has no reward, only repeated presentation, while on operant conditioning, there is the presence of reinforcement, either reward, positive, or negative. Claro?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So in classical conditioning also, the subject is passive. What do you mean a subject is passive? Naghihintay lang yung learner, yung dog. Sa operant naman, the subject is active. So ang kagandahan ng operant conditioning, yung subject are involved in the process. Okay? So claro. The last one is the social learning by Bandura and Wallace. So si Albert Bandura talaga yung konsepto na ng social learning. Emphasizes on observational learning that includes self-instruction and self-reinforcement. Ano ibig sabihin? This one is characterized with, number one, imitation, observation, and conditioning. So sa term natin, gaya-gaya, putumaya, lahat ng gawaing matatanda sa mata ng bata ay tama. So kung astig ang tatay, ano ang bata ng lalaki? Astig man. Oo, that's true. Kung kikay ang mother, ano man yung bata ng babae? Kikay man. Kasi they model what they have observed. All right? So again, what are the two school of thoughts? We have the associative and the other one is cognitive. So under associative, we talk about how many theories?
4.
4. The first theory is connectionism theory by Thorndike. How many laws did we learn?
3.
3 laws. Law of
Readiness, effect, exercise.
exercise and effect. We also talk about two conditioning. We have the
Classical
and the other one is respondent, which is the other one is anong isa? Operant or conditioning by BF Skinner. And the last one is
Social learning theory.
social learning by
Bandura and Wallace.
Dura and Wallace. Okay, so actual board exam question. Imitation, observation, and conditioning is a process of developing personality according to A. Bandura, social learning. B. Connectionism theory, classical conditioning, operant conditioning. Your answer?
Bandura.
Bandura, social learning theory. Okay. Loss of learning is emphasized by whose theory?
Thorndike.
Thorndike. What about repeated presentation of certain stimulus to develop a new behavior?
Pablo's
Pavlov's classical conditioning. Reinforcement is the key factor in his theory.
Skinner.
Matalang pa kamo, hindi na. Matalang pa, hindi na.
Hindi na, ma'am.
Okay? Perfect na. So that is under SR or associative theories of learning. Tandaan nyo, hindi sila cognitive. Ano sila? Behavioral, SR, or associative. Claro? So among the following, which is not belong? Social learning, classical conditioning, Thorndike connectionism theory, or D, Kohler's learning of insight. What is that belong?
Fuller.
Kohler learning of insight. Claro? Among the following, which is behavioral in nature, field theory, discovery learning, insight learning, or social learning.
Social.
Social learning. I'm teaching you how to discriminate. Ayos? Claro?
Clear, ma'am.
Okay. Let us also talk about classical conditioning or the conditioning processes. This is not only classical, but also in all types of conditioning concept. There are what you call processes of conditioning. I hope you're taking down notes. So what are the different processes of conditioning? Number 1, acquisition. Number 2, generalization. Number 3, discrimination. And number 4, extension. Are you doing it now? Okay. Ready? Ma'am, what is anong una kanina? Acquisition? Amay?
Yes, acquisition, ma'am.
Okay, Miss Jen. Jean, acquisition. This is the acquisition of the new behavior after certain experiences. For example, uh, you have bitten by the snake, so you develop fear of snake. What is that, Jean?
Accusation, ma'am.
Acquisition. Very good. What about I'm afraid of all types of snake? What is that, Mark Louis? Mark, are you there? I'm afraid of all
Yes,
types.
ma'am.
Yeah, I'm afraid of all types of snake. Acquisition,
Generalization.
that what is
Generalization.
generalization. I'm afraid of snake, but except the snake that we have taken care at home.
Discrimination.
Discrimination. What if I asked you, is the dog salivation towards the bell can be diminished? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Once that one can be diminished, so therefore, pag nawala yan, that process is called extinction or the law of the shoes. For example, takot ako, the dog salivate at the sound of the bell. How will I change using the process of extinction? Mag-present ako liwat sa dog, bell na lang, wala food, wala na unconditioned stimulus. Repeated presentation again. Tanong, babalik ba ang dog? Is the dog still salivating? Magsasalivate pa ba ang dog dahil wala na siyang food na ini-expect? The answer is no.
No.
That's true. Kagaya din yan sa lalaki, Joseph. Pag ang lalaki, inalagaan ka, conditioning yun, napo-fall si girl. Pero kung iniwan mo, pinabayaan mo, hindi mo binibinyagan, nag-stop ka ng conditioning of loving her, mawawala, di ba, yung pag-ibig ng babae? The answer is yes. Okay? Kaya nga, yung mga babae, mga lalaki dyan, alagaan yun. Ikaw naman babae, alagaan mo yung lalaki mo kasi baka iwan ka rin. Tama? So, yun. So, the next one, let's proceed to the cognitive. So, sa cognitive na tayo. So, after the verbal theories of learning association, let's proceed to the cognitive theory. So, cognitive theories of learning holds that learning is a process of discovering and understanding relationship and of organizing and finding significance in the sensory experiences aroused by the external situation. The emphasis here is placed upon cognition and insight in the perception of the new meaning of the situation. So, depende sa insight mo. All right, let's proceed. The first one is Wolfgang Kohler's theory of insight. Remember guys, ang daming na-confused dito. Yung Lawrence Kohlberg is morality. This one is insight learning or AHA. Ang pangalan niya is Wolfgang Kohler. Si Wolfgang Kohler, theory of insight learning or sometimes called AHA. AHA. Okay, yung mga nag-iilaw sa mga, parang, oh my God, it's there the tip of my tongue. Di ba may ganun tayo minsan, ano, nakalimutan natin. Tapos, oh my God, it's there the tip of my tongue. Pag naalala mo sa, aha, ito pala, that is insight learning by Wolfgang Kohler. So this states that maintains that learning is a result of insightful solution. Okay? Cognitive yan. The second one is the concept of Lewin's topological theory. Medyo mahaba, no? But I have to explain it in short. These Lewins are sometimes called field theory by Kurt Lewis. K-U-R-T, Kurt Lewis, said that focuses on the psychological field of the life space of the individual. Internal forces within the individual interact with the external forces, and the changes in any of these forces result in the change of behavior. A person is motivated by the psychological tensions produced by the interaction of psychological self with the psychological environment. Ano ibig sabihin nito? Ang ibig sabihin nito, simple lang. We are learn more or mabilis tayong mag-isip when we are at the if we are under pressure. Do you agree? Saan ba nagpe-perform yung basketball player? First quarter, last quarter?
Last quarter.
Oo, kasi doon na sila na pressure. Tama ba?
Yes,
Sabi ng
ma'am.
sabi ng student namin dati, "Ma'am, alam mo, ang daming lumabas ng final recap ang coaching, pero yung review, wala." Sabi ko sa kanya, "Day, ang gi-coaching kasi, nanggaling din yun sa klase natin everyday." Niya, "Ay, tuon, hindi ko po maalala." Ano ibig sabihin nun? Ibig sabihin, mas mabilis siyang mag-isip kung malapit na ang board exam. Ang daming nagpapapabaya ngayon. Why? Sabi na malayo naman ang board. Nang muli, ala, March 19, may nakita akong nag-post. Bakit mabilis March 19 talaga? Bakit? Takot ka. Bakit? Hindi mo nagawa pa yung party mo. Gawin mo na. So you have January, Feb to March 13. We have still most 1 or 3 months to go. We have started September, I guess October. We will be ended March 19. And everything that we can give, we will give it. That's the reason why sinabihan ko na meron mga lecture siguro na mag-change because kailangan nating hibit ang time na nag-remain. So that's the reason why, guys, keep going. Okay? So mas mabilis yung board exam na lang, mas mabilis kang madali ka nang mag-learn. Okay? Yung iba natatakot, ka-start pa lang namin, hindi pa nga nag-middle yung review, March mag-exam na. That's the reason why. Ako kasi, 20 years na ako sa service na to. I know. I remember there was one instance that we started, apat na kaming mag-start ng review. So ayaw pa ng student. Sabi ng estudyante, "Ma'am, matagal pa naman yung March." So we submitted ourselves to that, but we started, I remember that was October 28. And examination for the next year, lumabas siya mga November. And the examination was called January 26. Kasabay na, I remember that, kasabay ng dinagyan. Wouldn't you imagine na everyone expected it will fall in March, but the PRC changes the schedule. The next exam will be March 2020. Ano ba yan? 2014 nang na-remember ko. March 2014. But we got a top-notcher coming from anak ni Ma'am Alimot from ISATU, Barotac. Sabi ko, "Oh my God, bakit ang board exam ang bilis?" So imagine yung rally ng preparation namin. Yung klase namin become, instead of every Saturday and Sunday, it became Thursday to Sunday para lang makatch ang ibang lecture na hindi nakakayanin. That's the reason why, guys, there's no reason for you not to fail the board exam when you prepared well from the very beginning. All right? Another one is that, the last one is that, Bruner's theory of instrumental conceptualism. What is this? Focuses on the nature of the knowing process. It holds that the learner is a purposive participant in a knowledge-getting processes who selects, structure, retains, and transform information. This is Jerome Bruner's concept of discovery learning. And they talk about the 3 types of learner, the conceptualization of iconic, inactive, and symbolic learners. Okay? Paano ba namin ma-identify yung tinatawag na inactive, iconic, and symbolic learner? Inactive learner, when the inactive is EN, and then active. So this type of learner learn more when they do the real thing or hands-on learning. Ang iconic naman, they learn more when they see pictures and videos. And the last one is the symbolic learner. They learn more when they see diagrams, graphic organizers, pie chart, mga ganon. So those are symbolic learners. May association of text and the figure. All right. So, any questions so far? None? So again, what are the 3 concepts of cognitive? We have the first one,
Colors.
Colors,
Theory.
verb colors, insight learning. The other one is Lewis topological, or sometimes called field theory, and Jerome Bruner theory of instrumental conceptualism. Okay, question. This is a learning based on the interaction of yourself towards your environment, the tension of your environment. Parehas na ba lang dasig ka mag-isip kung halimbawa be under pressure ka na may salakyan niya nagkanto towards you, dasig ka mo.
Lewin psychological theory.
What about the component is structuring learning based on inactive, iconic, and symbolic learners?
Brunner's.
What about
Instrumental conceptualism.
what about remembering something based on what you know about it? You remember things immediately through the flashing of your brain.
Theory of insight.
That is
Colors.
inside.
Coolers.
Okay. Did you record them all? Okay. So may ara ko i-add. Number letter D. Sino na? Okay, letter D. Letter D. Hindi ko na i-slides. Lev Vygotsky. Lev Vygotsky, concept of Lev Vygotsky concept of three. Okay, according to Lev Vygotsky, cognitive din to ha. One, social cognitive learning. One, social interaction precedes learning. Ano yung ibig sabihin? Once yung mga bata nag-i-interact sa mga ibang bata, may learning wala.
Niara.
Meron. Amo ng first, social interaction. Dalawang learning ng bata doon. The first one is within, intra-psychological, and the other one is inter-psychological. Ano yung intra-psychological? Paunti-unti nawawala ang kanyang egocentrism because of the socialization. The second one is inter-psychological. Nagiging mabuti siyang tao to relate with other needs of the children. So that is inter-psychological. So this is both intra and inter. The second one, the second concept of Lev Vygotsky is what we call the MKO. What is MKO?
More knowledgeable others.
More knowledgeable others. So according to Lev Vygotsky, we learn from our coach, trainer, lecturers, our speakers, from our computers, from internet. They are known to be my more knowledgeable others of the MKO. The third one is the ZPD. What is ZPD?
Zone
Zone of proximal development. According to Lev Vygotsky, the concept of the person is the composed of is the distance. CPD rather is the distance between the student is being assisted by the teacher and the student can perform the activity independently. So ang distance between there and there is called the CPD or the zone of proximal development. Dira nag-develop ang bata. All right? Ma'am, ano naman yung tinatawag na zone of proximal development? Ano naman yung tinatawag when somebody is assisted? Because concept yun. When a teacher or our MKO assists the child, ang tawag doon is scaffolding method. So a scaffolding method is a method whereby the student is being assisted by the MKO or the more knowledgeable other. That is still the concept of Lev Vygotsky. Did you learn something today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's repeat. Mag-recap tayo kasi this afternoon we have still have the session. Okay, let's talk about what are the three components of educative process. We have the learner,
Learning process.
And
the learning, and the learning situation. The center of educative process is the
Learner.
So the center of educative process is the learner. Okay, so we also talk about the the different concept of how you call this, of learning. We talk about the change of behavior is a form of learning, and we also talk about the concept of two theories of learning, two school of thoughts. We have the association and the
Cognitive.
cognitive. Under association, how many concepts do we learn?
4.
Four.
Four.
Social learning by
Bandura.
Bandura.
Bandura. Classical conditioning by
Pavlov.
We have Ivan Pavlov.
operationing by
Skinner.
Skinner.
Skinner, and of course, social learning by
Bandura.
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 Under cognitive, we also learn four concepts. What are the four concepts that we learn? We have insight learning by Fuller, field theory or topological theory by
Lewins.
Leeway.
Kurt Lewin, and we also talk about discovery learning by
Bruner.
Brunner.
MKO, zone of proximal development and social interaction by
Vygotsky.
Lev Vygotsky. Okay, so we also talk about the different concept of classical processes. We have the acquisition, generalization, and we have the
Discrimination.
and the last one is extension.
Extension.
Okay, so it's diminish the misbehavior or diminish the acquired behavior through what? A,
Extinction.
extension. Very good. Acquiring new behavior,
Acquisition.
acquisition. I'm afraid of all dogs, but not my dog.
Discrimination.
Discrimination. I'm afraid of all types of wild animals.
Generalization.
Generalization. We also talk about the two types of teachers. How you call it? Communication, the high level and the
Low level.
low level. Stop the misbehavior without disrupting the lesson flow.
Low level.
Low level. Shouting, reactive, mad.
High level.
High level. Very good. There are two types of the what you call this? There are two types of managing surface behavior. We have the verbal and the
Verbal.
Verbal.
non-verbal. So when I say something, please tell me if it's non-verbal or verbal. Interest boosting.
Verbal.
Verbal. Direct appeal. Nagpakaluoy ka sa mga bata.
Verbal.
Verbal. Proximity control.
Non-verbal.
Non-verbal, of course. We have what you call that signal interference.
Non-verbal.
Non-verbal. Name calling. Ano? Name calling. Verbal.
Verbal.
Okay. So I hope you learned something today, this morning. So this afternoon, we are going to study more. What time are we coming? Is it okay? 1:30?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So what time is it? It's 11:30, guys, so that I have enough break because I have to cook pa. So thank you so much. Have a nice day and see you this afternoon, 1:30 p.m. Good morning.
Thank you.